It's in factored form if it's got parentheses. So if you've got 8a squared plus 4a. Okay. And you're taking out the GCF. They both divide by 4. And you can also take out an a. Just one. And you would divide those out. And that would leave you with 8 divided by 4 would give me 2a. And then the second term would be, you divided out a 4a, so it actually, you have to put something there, so it would be a 1, okay? So this is in factored form for one reason only, because you've taken something, you divided something out, and now you have parentheses to show multiplication, okay? If you have something that cannot be factored at this time, we're going to call it prime. It's like you know your prime number. So what that means is that it can only divide by 1, like 7 can only divide by 1 in itself, or 11 or 13. So if it's a prime polynomial, then it will not divide by anything else except for 1. Okay, we already did GCF. If you were gone on Tuesday for whatever reason, then please make sure you get caught up on the notes, like you're on the AP Gov trip or whatever. Okay. Ax squared plus bx plus c. This is where a equals 1. So maybe highlight that so you know what set we're doing. We are doing trinomials today only where a is 1. So it's a special case and it lets you take a shortcut. Okay, step 1. This is on the whiteboard over there as well, but I'm not going to stand up, so I'll just point to it. Step 1 is always, is there a GCF? Because if there is one and you don't divide it out, then you are going to create much problems for yourself. You don't want to do that. We don't want to miss it, because then you might think it's not factorable, or you might just make the numbers a lot bigger than they need to be. So we want to divide out a GCF if it has one. And then, so check this guy. X squared plus 8x plus 15. Is there a GCF? Besides 1. No, just 1. So no. Then you create your x. You find two integers that multiply to a c. So that means a times c. And add to b. Because today everything we're doing will be where the a value is 1. It'll be 1 times c. So really we're just adding up to c today. Okay? All right, let's do this one. So this is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. But of course today the a value is 1. So we're making it easy on you to start. And we play what I call the x game. Okay, so I don't know if your Algebra 1 teachers called it that, but I call it that. Okay, so we multiply to a times c is 15. So multiplying to 15. So I'm going to put a dot on the top because that means multiplication, okay? Multiplying to 15 and adding up to the b value, which is 8. Does this look familiar? Oh man, it should. Okay. Ponder, meaning don't say it out loud yet. What are the two numbers that multiply to 15 and add to 8? Okay, now you can say it. What is it? 5 and 3, 3 and 5. Doesn't matter what order you put it in. Okay. So you figure out your little x game. It's like a puzzle. And then once you get your two numbers, because the a value is 1 today, you get to go put those numbers right into parentheses, okay? So whatever you get there will boop, boop, go into parentheses next to an x. So here's your lovely little parentheses, boop, 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 x, x. So it's going to be x plus 5, x plus 3, because they're both positive. And that's it today, okay? That's all we're learning. So we'll obviously do some examples. So look at number 10. Step 1 is always, always, always to look for a GCF. Otherwise, you might cry if you miss it. So what is a GCF on 10? Or I guess I should say, does it have one? 4. It does divide by 4. Okay, you divide by 4, but it's not like it divides out and goes away. Think about what you did on Tuesday and the last couple of days. It stays out in front. So the 4 goes out in front. And we divide every term by 4. I'll move this up. Okay, so that would be x what? 4 divided by 4x, so 4 times x squared. What about the middle term? 12 divided by 4, 3x. And then the last term, 8 divided by 4, 2. You do not take out an x, so all the x's are still there. Okay, this is super important that you leave it like that. And now you focus on the inside. So look inside. And you see x squared plus 3x plus 2. So again, you're multiplying a times c, but a is 1. So really you're just multiplying to c. Multiplying to 2 and adding to 3. Okay, so two numbers that multiply to 2 and add to 3. Do you have it? Multiplies to 2 and adds to 3. I'm guessing you probably have it. 2 and 1. Yeah, you are allowed to do 1 in itself. So now you go right to parentheses, but of course you have to have the 4 out in front. So 4, and then the x, and the x, because our a value is 1 today. So it's going to be x plus 2, x plus 1. Pretty simple stuff. All right, let's see if you can figure out the numbers. You can talk about them at your table. Again, we're playing the x game. Let's make sure we know, though, what is the b value here? Because a is 1. What's b? Also 1, positive 1. Pay attention to the signs. It's important. So it's multiplying to -6 and adding to positive 1. Reminder, when you're multiplying to a negative number, you have to have a positive and a negative. Okay? So 3 and 2, but which number has to be negative? Yeah. So the bigger number has to be positive so that it comes out to a positive 1. And if you need, just like write the sign in and then check it, and if it doesn't work, erase it and fix it, okay? So we've got x, x minus 2, x plus 3. Oh, a reminder, because if I don't say it now, I'll forget. Oh my gosh, there's a hair in my mouth. Okay. Okay, so your box here, your x game, you are multiplying to -64 and adding to -12. Okay, you have to have a positive and a negative number. This is not a super obvious one, so this is where you could get out your calculator and guess and check. So I would take 64 and take 64 divided by 2, and then I would know 2 times 32 is 64. You're trying to find factor pairs that multiply to 64, and then you can mess around with the positive negative thing when you're done. But you got to find the two numbers that might combo for you and work well, okay? 62 divided by 2, 64 divided by 3, 64 divided by 4, and so on until you find two numbers that might work. You're just going to have to get, nope. You have to guess and check on a calculator. This is Algebra 2. This is not your first rodeo. Okay. Do we have the numbers? Maybe? Not quite. I still people plunking around. Okay, if you type in your calculator 64 divided by 4, you get 16. Okay, your sign to yourself is like, okay, if I did 16 minus 4, that would give me 12. So if I make one of those numbers negative, then it should work out for me. So 16 and 4, but because I wanted to add to a -12, which one has to be negative? The 16, the bigger one, because we want it to be a negative number. Okay. Okay, and then lastly, I will let you try number 13 with your table. This one is less confusing, I think. Okay, two numbers that multiply to 49 and add to -14. You have it? Okay, who can tell me? 7. Yeah, -7 and -7. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. When you have a positive number on the top, you're multiplying to a positive, but adding to a negative, both your numbers will be negative. All right, so put that in little parentheses. X, X, minus 7 minus 7. Okay, this is kind of tacky though. Do you remember from Algebra 1 what we do when there's two of the same? Parentheses. How do I get it to be one parentheses instead? Squared. Nice. X minus 7 squared. So on this one, yes, you take it one step further and you actually put a power of 2 on it.